If you're thinking of making a move in Kansas City and you've been trying your best to watch the market, you may find that it's a bit confusing. Rates are up, people are talking about housing prices falling, foreclosures are on the rise, and Zillow no longer shares what your neighbor's house sold for. It gets hard to know what to do, and you probably are doing what most people do when they don't have enough information. You're probably staying put and waiting it out, and that's what I would do too. But what would you do if you had the right information and you saw an opportunity? Would you take action, or would you wait for others to do it first? Now, in this video, I'm going to recap what happened in 2023, then let you in on what's already happening and is predicted to happen throughout 2024 and all the way through 2027 here in Kansas City. Now, stay to the end of the video and I'll share my advice on what I would do if I were in your shoes and what I definitely wouldn't do, even though most people are going to do just that. I'm Justin Berry, Plains Paris real estate team right here in Kansas City. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home here in Kansas City and you could use a professional in your corner, that's what we do. Reach out immediately at 816-439-8705. We're here to help you make smart moves in real estate. Let's quickly recap 2023. A year ago, heading into 2023, there was a ton of fear in the market. The Fed raised rates mid-2022, and most people thought that the increase would crash the real estate market, which caused many buyers to sit out and wait for the inevitable crash and swoop in and pick up some deals. Sellers, too, decided to stay put, holding on to their investment homes with their low interest rates. Now, by April, buyers were starting to see prices increase again, and as they inevitably re-entered the market, interest rates started to steadily increase as well. The Fed actually increased rates 11 times throughout 2023, with mortgage rates ending up over 8%. Every time the rates went up, doomsdayers prophesized the end of the housing market, and 11 different times that proved to be wrong. Housing affordability was the year's buzzword. Not only were houses more expensive to buy, they were more expensive to finance, and if you chose to sit it out, you likely found that rents also increased just as much. Kansas City is quickly growing and making quite the mark on the map again. In fact, the last time Kansas City was this popular was the Roaring 20s, 100 years ago, when Kansas City was known as the Paris of the Plains, hence our company name. Our sports teams have all recently won World Series, Super Bowls, the championship cups. We've hosted the NFL draft and we're slated to host the World Cup. We've been named one of the best cities to visit, best cities to work remote from. Our suburbs have ranked best places to live in the country. Then on top of that, there's constant buzz on every channel about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, who both recently bought homes here. Heck, there's even rumors that Rhianna is currently shopping for a home here as well. So there's little doubt that Kansas City is in demand. If you live here, it's just one of those things that slowly sneaks up on you. I mean, your neighborhood doesn't really change. Yeah, every time you drive downtown, there's something new they're doing, but it doesn't feel that different. It doesn't feel like the city's really changing to the level where somebody would move from a large coastal city to come move to Kansas City. This is just normal to us. We take it for granted. But we are seeing the changes, especially in the demand that bucks national trends in the appreciation of homes, rents, and the lack now of affordable housing in Kansas City. We're also seeing flight from the expensive coasts as people can move and work remote more. They're picking Kansas City. Now, they're looking for safe and affordable living that the Midwest provides, but they're used to having lots of choices in entertainment and food that the big cities have provided. Kansas City, though, is booming to meet these desires of the transplants. Now, it's relative. Kansas City is quickly increasing in cost and value, but that's because Kansas City is still relatively affordable compared to other cities. Affordable housing is an issue everywhere, but it's even worse in larger coastal cities, and those in a position to take advantage of what Kansas City has to offer, they're doing just that. Now, this is important because as I work with clients, they're often hyper-focused on what they can get for their money today, and yes, that's super important. In fact, that's what you hire us for, to help you negotiate the best deal you can get. But it's also really important to understand where the market is going and what factors are going to impact that. If you know those factors, you know where the market's going, it's going to help you make good decisions today that are going to put you in a better position later. Kansas City is growing fast, and there's no evidence that this will slow down anytime in the near future. Businesses, they're thriving, and districts that used to look like the perfect set for a zombie movie are now busy and hopping on every Friday and Saturday night. Now, the celebrity impact and major events, they're just starting to start the conversation about Kansas City in most Americans' minds. Remember, we've been part of a boring flyover state since people could hop on airplanes, and now Kansas City is fashionable. In the world of football, we're either loved or hated now. It's not much different, than the Patriots. We're becoming that dynasty in our city as well, and it's putting a ton of eyeballs on Kansas City. So we know that even with rates rising, fewer people moving last year, the demand stayed high, causing home prices to continue to increase because we simply do not have enough housing. Smart investors are coming to Kansas City and they're building luxury apartments everywhere right now, and they have spent the money, they know where the market is expected to go, and they know what demand is expected to come. So if you live in Kansas City, it's smart to pay attention to what others are doing, especially the ones investing millions of dollars. They probably have some insight. Now may actually be one of the best times to secure owning real estate in this city and not having to rent an apartment like you might have to do in the future, like you have to do now in other major cities. So right or wrong, I know it makes a lot of people mad that that's where things are and where they're going. That's likely the future of Kansas City. All of that occurred with rates peaking at 8%, but in mid-December, the Fed came out and said, we're no longer going to be raising rates. In fact, expect 3 decreases in rates in 2024. Now, this was not anticipated. Most experts predicted that this would not occur until 2025. So now it's happening a year earlier than even expected. What effect do you think that's going to have on our market? Now, without the Fed even adjusting rates, because remember, all they said was we're not going to adjust rates, but expect some decreases later. But even without them doing that, the news positively affected the economy, the stock market soared, and mortgages have already fell sharply from 8% to 6.61 on average. We've had clients, here in Kansas City already locking in at as low as 5.75%. Now remember, we expect 3 drops still to come in 2024, none of which have occurred yet. So what is that going to do to the market? If you've been sitting on the sidelines, you know that's coming, and you wait, what do you think the market's going to be at by the time you wait? Now, negative news will stop people in their tracks. Our brains are wired to avoid pain. When it's positive news, though, we are skeptical, and that skepticism creates a response lag or a decision lag. We usually feel comfortable watching others do first, and we don't like to be the one to jump the cliff first. Now, that's what most people are going to do this year. They're going to remain skeptical, and they're going to wait until it appears safe by watching others safely enter the market. We even saw this through the 3% market when people were paying $20,000 more than what the house was worth. And how many people now wish they would have bought a house and just paid that to get the house back then and had that low interest rate? And they didn't expect prices to continue going. They could have had it locked in at a lower rate and a lower price. It's the same situation again. The longer you wait, the less chance you're going to have to get the same deal. Those that choose to rely on data and evidence and make smart decisions that align with their own hopes, dreams, and aspirations will very likely find themselves ahead of the pack. Experts predicted before the Fed spoke in December that we would see 14% appreciation between now and 2027. So that means a $355,000 house today was supposed to cost $404,000 in 2027 if that 14% holds true. That means that if in 2024 it ends up being 4% appreciation as well, now that they're going to be coming down, we expect it to potentially be 4% already. We had 4% this year with high rates. No reason to believe next year wouldn't be any different. But if that is true, then we would expect to see that same $355,000 house in 2027 will cost closer to $420,000. So it doesn't make sense to wait. It makes sense to buy in now, especially when you consider that you're leveraging the bank's money. It's not just your money. Generally, you're putting 5, 10, 20% down, and you gain all the gains on the whole, not just on what you put into the house. That's a huge change if you've lived here most of your life. The average price of a home in Kansas City just 10 years ago was around $165,000. And as angry as it makes some Kansas Cityans, it's where we are and where we're going. I want you all to have the right information so you can make smart moves, build wealth, and have impact on your loved ones. Now, I said I'd give my advice on how you can win this year. So if you've been wanting to make a move, I would highly recommend that you start shopping now. There is going to be a response lag, and in that lies opportunity for those who do not need to watch others go first. So buy now, refinance later. If and when the rates come down more, say they come down an additional 1% or more, then it's worth refinancing generally. And keep in mind that the cost to refinance in a 4% appreciating market is only around 2 to 3 months of appreciation, which is way better than having to pay over list and potentially pay cash on top of your loan to win a negotiation like we saw through the COVID years. New construction has been hit the hardest due to the rate increases, and right now builders are willing to make bargains. That might change once that lag catches up, but for this small window, you have a lot of power with builders. Once buyers feel safe though, they will be buying new construction, and there will be likely a lack of inventory there again as it takes time to build, and many builders, just like buyers, are emotionally hesitant and they will likely delay in making decisions as well. So grab what you can off the shelves when it comes to new construction. That's what I would tell our clients to do, and that's where I think the winners are going to come from this year. Now again, if you're even thinking about making a move to Kansas City and you want to work with professionals who can help you avoid costly mistakes and take advantage of opportunities in the Kansas City market, that's what we do. So go ahead and reach out to us immediately at 816-439-8705. Give us a call, text, whatever's best for you. We're here to help you make smart moves in real estate.